Alright, back at it. MMA Quick Hits, the only MMA channel that fucking matters. This was a pretty interesting article because I know a lot of us either love or just don't really give a shit about Jose Aldo. I'm a Jose Aldo fan. Joe Rogan is coming out saying that Jose Aldo's legacy will always be tarnished by the loss to Conor McGregor because it was 13 seconds. It was a KO. He was out. Now, you know, the only thing that I have to say about that is, does this same rule apply to everyone? Does it apply to GSP getting knocked out, tapped out by Matt Hughes? Does it apply to GSP tapping out to punches? Does this apply to Anderson Silva getting his leg broke by Chris Weidman and getting knocked out by Chris Weidman? You know, because everybody acts like up until that point, you know, we don't want to think about that stuff anymore. You know, does it apply to Conor McGregor being beat up by Nate Diaz in the first fight? Does it apply? This is the wild card. Does it apply to John Jones' DQ finish? You know, when he was dominating, he was pulverizing Matt Hamill, and the referee didn't do his job and say, hey man, you just landed one illegal elbow, let me stop the fight and make sure this guy is okay. You know, instead of that, he's just talking, watch the elbow, John, watch the elbow, John. And then John drops fucking 50 elbows in 1 second, and then he's disqualified. You know, so the bottom line is, where does it stop? Because, you know, tarnished, man, that's the word that you use when somebody had an epic career and then they pop dirty, like an Anderson Silva. You know, then a lot of people say, well, he didn't pop dirty before that. He popped dirty because he was trying to heal his leg. Where does it stop at? You know, do you give Conor McGregor the excuse of, well, Conor fought somebody 3 times his size and Nate Diaz? Do you say GSP was smart to tap out from punches so he could live to fight another day? What does the word tarnish mean? To me personally, Jose Aldo's legacy is not tarnished by losing one fight to one guy that happened to be 3 times bigger than him. Like, give me a fucking break. Jose Aldo has a knockout loss to Conor McGregor. Yes, definitely. That's 100% true. We can't change that. Is Conor McGregor the biggest fighter? Yes, but all that shit doesn't matter as long as he made weight at 145 pounds, which he did. And he knocked out Jose Aldo and took his fucking belt. Now, you know, the same question is going to linger. If they fight again, who would win? I still have to give the edge to Conor McGregor, but at the same time, you know, Jose Aldo having a 15-year career with 3 to 4 losses only, and every single other fight was a dominant victory. That's just called a legendary career. Look at some of the guys in the UFC Hall of Fame right now that have popped dirty. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's a joke because you take somebody like Stephen Bonner, credentials alone, he doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame, but Dana White said based on what he did for the UFC at a certain time, he put him in there. But then he tested dirty when he fought Anderson Silva, and he said, well, I was gonna go do some pro wrestling stuff. So, like, what does tarnish really mean? I think that was a bad term. I think that that Joe Rogan literally should have just said, hey, that loss that Jose Aldo took to Conor McGregor is always going to be a thorn in his side, because at the end of the day, that's where it stops at, man. It was just one fucking loss to one guy, and Conor McGregor, trust me, he'll be in the UFC Hall of Fame. It doesn't matter if he loses to Floyd and he comes back and he loses 3 or 4 fights. Dana White can say, oh yeah, Conor McGregor changed the sport at that amount of time. So with that being said, to be idolized in the UFC Hall of Fame and have been a UFC champion, there's no higher honor in MMA. Well, you want to be, you know, somebody like Rory McDonald would say some stupid shit like, I want to be a dual champion in Bellator and be in Bellator's Hall of Fame. And that's not stupid to people, but Jose Aldo, one of the greats. If you like him or not, he's one of the greatest MMA fighters ever. Ever. Hands down. Even if you hate him, he has to be in your top 5. If you love him, he could be number 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5. You know, it could be wherever you want him. But my whole point is you cannot discount this guy's career. And I don't think that is tarnished because of one loss to anybody. I don't care if you fucking lost to the Korean Zombie in 13 seconds. I wouldn't say, oh yeah, his shit's tarnished now, because how the fuck do you lose to the Korean Zombie in 13 seconds, man? Shit happens. It was a hell of a punch. It was time. It was beautiful placement. It was just a loss at the end of the day. I don't know what else to say. Man, fuck it. It is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comments.